Hey everyone, my name is Sean Cecil from the Oculus Institute, and I'm going to share with you the one question that you should ask yourself every single morning. So today I'm going to share with you the single most powerful question that you can ask yourself every single morning or before you embark on any endeavor or before you try to make any kind of major change. It's the kind of thing that you can infuse into your life on a daily basis and that you can use to make major decisions. It's perhaps one of the most powerful questions that you can ever ask yourself. And that question is this: is what I'm going to do today, is what I'm about to spend my time on, is that something that's coming from a place of self-love? Or is that something that's coming from a place of self-judgment? The vast majority of human beings spend most of their time and most of their energy doing things that are fundamentally motivated by self-judgment. They're fundamentally motivated by the idea that I'm not good enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I don't deserve this, and they're trying to be better. They're trying to conform to some idea of what they think society thinks they should be. They're fundamentally motivated by trying to be something that they're not, by trying to change into somebody else's idea, and then if they get there, then finally they'll be worthy, they'll be good enough, they'll be lovable. And that is a constant journey of internal conflict. They're constantly beating themselves up. They have the bullying voice inside their mind that's constantly screaming at them, that's making them suffer, that's causing them to be miserable. And I call that voice the inner judge, right? And if you're doing anything because the inner judge is screaming at you, because you're allowing the inner judge to scream at you, you're always going to do it with resistance. You're always going to be miserable along the way. And when you get there, it's not going to feel good. You're going to think, oh, well, when I get there, the inner judge will stop screaming. But then the inner judge will just find something else to scream about. And you go through this life beating yourself up every minute of every day. Now, the alternative is to come from a place of self-love. Imagine you have a son or a daughter. If they came to you and they said, Mommy, Daddy, I suck, I'm horrible, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, you wouldn't allow them to talk that way about themselves. You'd say, no, honey, that's not true, right? Now, there are things where, maybe if they're overweight, you're going to say, yes, honey, that's fine, but that doesn't make you a bad person. That just means you need to go for, you go for a run, eat healthier, we'll work together, we'll get it solved. And it comes from a place of optimism and growth, and it feels good rather than a place of bullying and judgment. And so you want to speak to yourself that same way. And what you're going to find is that there are many things that you may be doing. There are many ventures that you may be pursuing. You may be trying to make more money or have more prestige or all this other kind of stuff that's not really in line with your values, that's causing you to sacrifice who you really are because you're trying to live up to who you think you ought to be. Get rid of all the shoulds, get rid of all the ought tos, get rid of all the have tos and say, what do I really want? And get in touch with that place of self-love. And once you do that, you're only going to be pursuing growth. You're only going to be pursuing ventures. You're only going to be pursuing opportunities that are in alignment with who you really are, rather than trying to force your square peg into somebody else's round hole. And here's the sad truth of things. The personal development industry is mostly based on trying to make people feel like they're not good enough. A lot of the marketing out there actually supports the inner judge. It actually causes people to go into that place of self-judgment. It helps them bully themselves instead of lifting them up. And at the end of the day, if you're going to be investing in any course, if you're going to be investing in any coach, if you're going to be putting in any amount of time, you want to make sure that you're doing it for something that genuinely makes you feel good instead of makes you feel crappy. And so you want to be coming from that place of self-love, and you want to be asking yourself, is this desire coming from a place of self-love, or is this coming from a place of self-judgment? And if you go and you're looking to make any kind of personal development investment at all whatsoever, you want to ask yourself that question. And more importantly, as I said at the very beginning, you want to ask yourself that question every single morning. Because if you get up every morning and you ask yourself, is what I'm going to do today serving self-love, or is it serving self-judgment? Then you're rapidly going to get your life into a place where it's in alignment with who you really are. You're rapidly going to see all of the things that you're doing in your life, all of the energy you're putting out there, all of what you're sacrificing, all because of some idea of what you should be, what society thinks you ought to be, what somebody told you is how you have to live your life. And you're going to be able to throw that all away as long as you ask yourself that one question every single morning. And so if you're asking yourself that question, if you're realizing that you're not in alignment and you're looking for a way to redirect your career to something that is based in self-love, something that is based in purpose, in passion and conviction, instead of something that you're doing because you think you have to and because society told you that's the way you got to live, Well, if that's you and you're in that place of waking up and you're in that place of trying to find a career that's truly right for you, then I absolutely want to help you on your journey because you're my kind of people, you're my tribe. And so I have a free presentation for you. You can go find it at www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. And it lays out the whole journey of how you go from somebody who's been living in self-judgment your whole life and built a whole career based around that into somebody who's operating from a place of self-love, from a place of purpose and a place of passion. And it shows you beginning to end all the steps that you need to take. And I want you to go there. It's totally free. It's my gift to you. And I promise you it'll change your life. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week on the video. Go live from that place of self-love and start asking yourself that one question every single morning. Wishing you the best.